Hello and welcome back to the Cars Ireland YouTube channel, where today we're going to attempt to answer a question that a lot of people have when it comes to buying a car, and that is whether it's better to buy new or used. And the car we're going to use to discuss this age-old question is the ultimate Czech land yacht in the Skoda Superb.
In this corner, we have the all-new, all-singing, all-dancing, brand new to the market for 2025 Skoda Superb. And this one is a 2-litre DSG 150 horsepower and whisper it diesel engine. Yeah, you can still get them. This is the Sportline model and it's yours for about 57 grand.
In this corner we have the slightly less shiny, slightly more lived in 2019 version Sportline model also. Same powertrain, 2-litre diesel DSG 150 brake horsepower, and if you're lucky enough to find one of these on the second-hand market, you're talking probably mid-20s. For argument's sake, this model retails at about €27,000, so less than half the price of this one.
I can justify that price difference very quickly. The new one is 43 millimeters longer and 12 millimeters taller. So there's your 30 grand out the door.
Yes, because that's what the Superb needs, more space.
Yeah, it needs to be bigger.
Shall we talk about the looks?
Yes.
So, well, this new Superb is without a doubt a very good looking car. I'm going to say something a little bit controversial here and say I actually think I prefer the styling of this older generation model. So this is the pre-facelift version, so it came out just before they started to put the big Skoda lettering across the back, and I'm not sad about that either.
You won't miss it.
I won't miss it. I like the bird.
Okay, fair enough. I do tend to agree. I do think this is a better looking car than the newer model, but in saying that, I think this is better in person than in pictures, and it's a bit more of a classy affair, especially in this graphite grey, a €900 option. It's got a bit more golf club going on. Personally, I'd probably pick a brighter colour like Skoda's Energy Blue, but still a very handsome car, and likewise.
It's a pity that people don't tend to be that adventurous with the colour palette when it comes to a car like this. But yeah, look, without a doubt, an extremely good looking car. I just like it a little bit. It's just me. So shall we talk about this Sportline trim?
Yes.
When it comes to Skodas, I think the Sportline trim is the only way to fly. So for anyone who doesn't know, it's sort of like the M Sport or AMG line or sporty version that really elevates what is essentially not a very sporty car. So you get things like this blacked out grille, the nice big 19-inch designer alloy wheels, some upgraded styling and some nice bits inside as well. I know in this generation you get the Alcantara and leather sports seats, aluminium sports pedals. We'll talk about the inside in a second, but a nice bit of kit.
Yeah, again, the newer model, it's a very similar approach. Black trims, sport bumpers, 19-inch Tocular alloy wheels in polished black, and maybe the separator is these matrix LED headlights, which are great, and some exterior ambient lighting, which I've not seen because it is bright till 10:30 at night and I'm in bed by then.
Obviously. Look, I appreciate a matrix LED headlight as much as the next person, but I don't know if I 30 grand appreciate a matrix LED
It's piling
headlight.
up on top of the bigger size. Will we look inside?
Yes, let's. So this is the interior of the 2019 model. I think it's held up pretty well. There's 150,000 kilometres on the clock of this one, which is about average for a 2-litre diesel of this size. You're looking at about 25,000 kilometres a year. And as mentioned, this Sportline model did come with these really nice Alcantara and leather sports seats.
Yeah.
Again, I think they've held up pretty well.
They're
aged quite
solid.
well. Now, in terms of tech, obviously we're a generation behind when it comes to the touch screen. It's a little bit smaller, but it does have everything you need. You've got your dual zone climate control, plenty of real buttons.
Real touchy buttons, yeah.
Real buttons. You might be missing some of the newer spec, like heated seats and that. God, I actually do really miss that.
You miss it.
Okay, I'm going to say there's two things that I miss
Go on.
from the spec sheet of this car. One is heated seats because I've become very spoilt that way. I'm not going to lie.
By the seat.
I like to be heated by the seat. And the second thing is there's no reversing camera.
Okay.
And it's a
Sensors?
there's parking sensors,
Okay.
but it is a very long car, which has great payoff in terms of practicality, in terms of the back seats and the boot. We'll get onto that shortly. But it's a very long car and a reversing.
Not as long as mine.
43 millimeters
Makes a
shorter.
difference.
But yeah, a reversing camera really would have been the icing on the cake here, I think.
Liked it.
But as I said, other than that, it's fine. It's got inbuilt sat-nav, which is terrible, as most inbuilt sat-nav systems are. We never use it. We always end up just using Apple CarPlay, which it does come with the help of a wire.
Have
Have you seen one of those in a
What
while?
is that?
I know, yeah. So there's no wireless charging, needless to say, but you can do Apple CarPlay, Android Auto with the help of wire, and it is one of these old school. I don't know if the kids out there will know what that is. It's called a USB-B port. Yes, okay.
Would
But
you
on
miss
them.
the wireless Apple CarPlay? Is it a big deal?
It's good when it works.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. It's held up pretty well for 150,000 kilometres too. The only bits of wear I see are the gear stick, which heavy use obviously, and the little electric handbrake. The trim on it has come off. Speaking of trims coming off, I believe the glove box is a bit damaged
I
too.
believe I might have done that by trying to force a manual inside there.
Okay,
That was too
so-
big.
But other than that, pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, as you've kindly pointed out, God, I hope I never have to sell this car. But there is a bit of wear and tear on the higher touch points. Like you said, the gear stick, the parking brake.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I'm happy.
Do you want to go to the future?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Okay, so welcome to the future. Back to the future, in fact.
See, they've axed the bird in here as well.
Yeah, no birds like my teenage years.
Oh.
Yeah, it was hard. Pretty similar, I would say, overall, but we do have this big ASMR harp effectively across the dash. Great noise, great design as well, I do quite like it. And I do like the suede Alcantara. But returning to bigger sizes in general, 11mm more here, headroom in the front, and 6 in the back. So overall, a much bigger car. Not a much bigger car, a bigger car.
Funny enough, it does feel bigger.
It does, doesn't
Yeah,
it? It's weird.
yeah.
And we have a 13-inch screen, 10-inch dash,
So you've got your digital cockpit.
digital
Nice.
both, yeah. But the nice thing now, I know you brought my attention to these in the Kodiak recently, is this smart toggle screen down the bottom here, so you can chop and change what you would like to feature on the center dials, and then that controls it. So you do get a bit of screenage, but we also have buttons as well, which is merciful. But like, you can put your drive mode in here, or your volume, or your air controls, or your heated seats, which I do have, which you don't have.
No.
Yeah. Seats are very similar, aren't they? They're the half suede, sporty.
Really similar, yeah.
Yeah, these are electric. I'm not sure if the passenger is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
passenger is
electric.
electric,
Yes,
yeah,
actually,
me
that's
too.
one difference because I have electric in the drivers, but the passengers are ratchet.
Yes, that's fairly normal. But we do have a party piece in this, and it is massage function in those seats.
Wow.
Both front seats.
And that's standard on the new Sportline?
as far as I can tell.
That's pretty
Yes,
nice. Okay.
Yeah. So it's very comfortable.
And here's me with my, I don't even have heated seats.
You don't even have these massage you as
Woe is
well.
me. And
Yeah.
I like these, what did we call them before? Scrutons.
Scrutons,
I actually
yeah.
think it's a really good answer to the
Conflict.
to the conflict that people have between, you know, wanting a physical button and moving
Yeah.
with the times and new technology. They look really smart as well.
I think you'll pick your one or two you like in there and just live with it.
Yeah,
There is also a USB connection up here in beside the rear view mirror.
very handy for a dash cam. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
There's all that simply clever Skoda stuff, like the hook for your parking ticket. And we've all seen it endlessly before.
And
yeah.
so on and so on.
Wireless charging, USBs, loads of space in the back, acres of space, and again, a bigger boot.
Slightly. Okay, look, there's absolutely no doubt that this has a more premium feel. You can see the technology advances. But is it a 30,000 euro improvement? Is this car worth 30,000 euro more than that car? And I suppose that boils down to the question that we're trying to answer in terms of should you buy new or used? There's pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
I suppose you could take it for granted if you're going to finance. If you're going to buy a 57,000 euro car, you're going to be looking at some form of finance.
Yeah, probably PCP. I think most people will buy this on PCP. The example on the Skoda site gets you a monthly payment of about 425 euro. That's on the entry-level selection diesel model with a deposit of 16 grand. But do keep in mind that you will have that payment at the end of about 22 grand if you really want to buy the car, rather than what your situation might be.
So yeah, if you were to look at the example of the used model, so let's call this 27,000 euro, assuming that you have some form of a trade-in, which most people probably will, and you want to finance the remaining 20,000 euro, and you decide to do that with your bank or credit union, a 20,000 euro loan over 5 years is going to work out roughly 400 euros a month.
Something similar.
So similar, like not a million miles away in terms of your monthly output, the difference being I'll own that at the end
Yeah.
of the 5 years. Now,
Whereas
most people will just roll into
that's
the
the
next
thing,
model
isn't
and the
it? Yeah.
next model. But
And the warranty, 150,000 kilometres, 3 years on the Skoda.
Oh,
so
listen, without doubt, there are other huge pluses to buying new. Like you said, you've got your warranty, you've got the new car prestige, you've got
service
a lot
packs,
of times a service plan, which is
Handy.
really important. And for some people, that kind of lack of maintenance, no NCT, that's a huge one. So that's at its first NCT this year.
Oh,
and
good.
well, it passed with flying colours, we're now into the routine of like, it's going to have to sit that every year and the kind of maintenance that comes with that. The other obvious drawback to buying used is there's a small degree of risk involved. So you're not the first owner of the car. Someone else has loved it before you.
Or hated it.
Which is where the car history check comes in and why it's so
very
important. Did a Cartell history check on this, got the result, which I wasn't actually aware of, that it is an import, which is no reason to be concerned on its own. But I also got the reassurance that there was only one other owner, that the mileage checked out, and that there's no outstanding finance. Because did you know, had there been outstanding finance on that car that wasn't paid off and I bought it, that car can be taken off me.
Yeah, it's not your
come
car.
take it away.
That was the worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario, but it is possible. So a lot of people don't know that. So I can't hammer home enough the importance of a car history check.
Get your check.
Get your check. It's so important that we're actually going to leave a discount code for a Cartell history check in the description box below. So in terms of space, I believe you mentioned that the new Superb has a few extra litres.
20
extra litres in the boot, but they're both still gigantic, and I think we can agree this Superb boot is the goat.
The goat of
It's
boots.
a goat. You'd fit a few goats in it,
I'm
I'd
sure
say.
someone has. I'm sure someone has.
625 litres, and there's not much you won't fit back there. It can fit a double buggy. I once fit a 2-metre fence back there with, obviously with the back seats down.
With no hassle.
No hassle, zero hassle.
It's crazy,
It can be a van when you want it to be, but yeah, if boot space is what you want, then
Go Superb.
Superb is the one.
Yeah.
In terms of backseat leg room, then again, it's got to be up there with the best in class. Definitely in this price range, I haven't seen more backseat leg room. It's a rear facing anywhere, literally.
It's crazy.
It's limo-like back there. It's
Basically,
cheesy to say, but that's what it is. It's a rear-facing parent's dream. You sometimes need that bit of extra leg room if you do the whole extended rear-facing thing.
Tall driver, rear-facing.
Yeah, exactly.
Good combination.
Yeah, they're big units, let's face it. And then even in terms of the rear bench itself, it's nice and wide, which I appreciate because I have spent a lot of time wedged in between two car seats in that back seat,
and crying children.
Yes, so they're not the happiest memories of my life, but you know what? I was pretty comfortable.
What more can you ask in life? It's superb. So in the interest of full disclosure, we've had to record this a day later because we had some sound issues on the day of filming in the driving bit. Anyway, I digress. The brand new Skoda Superb Sportline, what is it like to drive? Well, without reducing this to just one word, it's great. It's quite as simple as that. We could end it here, but I won't. So I know on the channel we drive a lot of EVs and we speak a lot about range, and the range on the 66 litre tank of the Skoda Superb showed me 1,300 kilometres when I picked it up with a full tank. So that shows you the kind of diesel range and what people feel like they're missing out on with the new EV stuff. Anyway, irrelevant. Fuel economy is about 5 to 6 litres per 100 kilometres. That in all money is about 50 to 55 miles per gallon. And I'm seeing that pretty consistently. 5 when you're doing very economical driving. It does get a bit higher in town. Now, what's it like to drive? Well, this is the Sportline, so you would expect something sporty. I don't think you quite get that. It is definitely treading that line of sport. It handles really well. It's very composed, very confident, very flat in the corners. Just not massively fun, but I don't think you'd expect that. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour takes about 9.2 seconds, which on paper is not impressive, but that doesn't matter because this thing has 360 Newton meters of torque from that 2-litre diesel engine with 150 horsepower, and it's the mid-range where it's impressive, where you're going from 50 to 100, 70 to 120, picks up lovely in that mid-range and is a really impressive engine. We'll miss diesel when it's gone. On top of that, the 7-speed DSG gearbox works really well, tips away on its own for most of the time. The only kind of issue I do find is in town driving around kind of slower, roundabouts, an intermittent issue of just moving off the line at pace. It's pretty common for a diesel and a 7-speed DSG. Only a slight irritation. The other negative I find is I do not like the drive selector here up at the steering wheel. Kind of frustrating, quite tricky to use at times. I still prefer it down on the center console bit. Just makes way more sense down here rather than up here. Now personally, I would be a fan of manuals, I've always said it, but a bad manual is not as good as a good automatic gearbox. And given the nature of this car, its large size, its cruising ability, 7-speed DSG is great on it. Returning to that cruising ability, that's where this really excels. If you're on the motorway, munching up kilometers, just sitting for hours on a motorway, it's very pleasant. I did 2 hours on the motorway the other day, and this thing just added up. I actually arrived relaxed rather than stressed out, which you do get on some other cars. I really am finding it hard to fault this car beyond that drive selector and maybe some of the driving around town. I suppose the price is that other issue. It has climbed quite significantly, but that's pretty universal across most cars nowadays, so not sure how much I can blame it for that. It's just a really impressive overall package, and it will deal with everything you throw at it every day without much fuss, to be honest. It's a solid 8 or 9 out of 10 car. Maybe we'll split the difference and go 8.5. Really impressive. It's just superb.
So this is the 2019 Superb. I'm just out of a spin in the new one, and granted that one feels a bit smoother, a bit fresher. I've traded that new car smell for something a little bit mustier and more lived in, but there's not a huge amount of difference behind the wheel. It's powered by the same 2-litre 150 brake horsepower diesel engine, same 7-speed DSG automatic gearbox, and very similar in terms of fuel efficiency. And I can tell you from driving this model for quite a while now that it is an extremely impressively fuel efficient car, especially given its size. You'll get 5 litres per 100 all day long, and especially on the motorway, which is where it feels most at home. It's pretty well behaved around town too, I must say. The only slight, not regret, but kind of bugbear or thing I wish I had on this car, and again it's a symptom of not buying new, is that I didn't get to spec it, and that is that it doesn't have a reversing camera, and it is a very long car, so you could really do it with one, especially in tighter spots like parking lots. But other than that, it's great. I love driving this thing. It's a big, comfortable, wafty, what did we call it earlier, land yacht. That's a pretty accurate description, and it's just a really nice, relaxing, comfortable way to get around. So which one should you buy?
You should buy the new one for that smell of fresh Alcantara in the morning, a lovely new reg, the latest tech, a monthly PCP payment for a few years. Yeah, it's good though.
It makes a strong case for itself, but the used one also makes a strong case for itself if you want a still pretty smart and premium feeling car without the big new car payment that you will eventually own one day, providing of course that you can get one with reasonably low mileage and of course a full Cartell history check.
Checks are important.
So one is superb for your wallet, we'll say, and one is superb for your driveway, your pride.
Yeah. Your pride, your ego.
If you're in the market for a new or a used Superb, you'll find plenty of both to choose from on CarsIreland.ie. Thanks for watching the video. We hope you found it helpful. If you did, you might give it a like or share, a thumbs up, a subscription, watch the other ones here and here. We're also over on Instagram, TikTok and all that stuff.